So tell me, is you ready, baby? Tell me, is you ready, baby?
Hey y'all, welcome back to the belikedee channel. It's your girl D coming back with another review of Divorce Sistas season 1 episodes 7 and 8. Y'all, I still like the show, but it's at some points where it's getting on my nerves and I'm predicting what's happening, so okay. But let's go ahead and get into it. So episode 7, we open up where we left off where Vaughn done, unalived himself, but then this what pissed me off. It turns out he didn't unalive himself. There was a cry out for help. He shot out his car window and he was somewhere at his cousin's house or friend's house or some shit. I was just like, why did y'all just put us on this emotional roller coaster? Because I was shocked when I thought it happened. Okay, I was just like, oh my goodness, we done turned serious. It's finna be a serious, thing finna be happening. What's gonna unfold? And then we turn out, he crying out for help definitely, but still, like, it was kind of like, why is you playing my emotions? And then the way everybody kind of just like, oh, he was just crying out for help, and then they were just walking off like, all right, well, let me know how he doing. The fuck? In comes Tiffany. And of course, it's already awkward because Geneva giving her awkward energy, and then Tiffany know it's awkward. But she still play dumb. Why she do that? Okay, that's the only part that kills me. She feel it. We can see that she feels it. She keep asking questions, but then she still proceeds to do the same stupid shit. Obviously, got to do with this man, and you keep deep diving and want to come talk to her about, oh, I wonder about Javon. But low-key, Geneva hating hard as fuck. I was like, damn, girl, you is tripping. Show me you territorial without trying to be territorial, okay? Because she's just like, wait, what you think about that for? What you think about how you just met this man? And then she's like, no, I'm not avoiding you. She's like, I called you 5 times. Oh, I'm very busy. And Tiffany, are you avoiding me? Why would I be avoiding you? I'm like, girl, okay, Geneva. Come on now, you playing. So then we have Naomi and what is his name on the show? Hakeem? I'm about to call him Doc. If you know, you know. All the Queensmen, he Doc, but his name on the show is Hakeem. Okay, so Naomi and Hakeem, they having sex. She doing the most. She choking him, and he all like, "All right, I said the safe word, okay." But she get violent, all right. But anyway, then she asking him, "Do he know some people?" You say you know some people, right? I need you to kill my ex-husband, okay? I said, well, damn, bitch, okay, she went to the dark side, okay, all the way. I need you to kill him. And she dead serious. So I could pay you. I got the money in the bank. I could show you. I give you a little bit up front. I ain't finna give you the whole thing. I just say, okay, Naomi is a criminal. So then we got the girls in the car, and it's just Rashida. She driving, Bridget in the passenger seat. And why the hell is Tiffany in the back seat again? Looking like the baby. But anyway, she back there salty, but she trying to get information from Rashida. Like, why is Geneva acting like this? And then Rashida like, you gotta talk to her. I can't help you with that. I said, damn, they gonna hold this secret, okay? They is not finna tell Tiffany. Then she was like, well, if she keeps acting like this, I can't watch Anika when they're going to Italy next month or whatever the hell it is. I was just like, okay, here she go. You doing the most, but you ain't even... Just take a step back, okay? Obviously, you gotta do something with this nigga, okay? I've been guessing, like, what's going on with this Javon dude? Because you didn't start acting weird till he came around. You connecting dots, but are you connecting the other dots? She told you to watch out for him, all this stuff on the low, and you still like, what's your problem with me? Obviously something going on. But anyway, and then Bridget was talking about what's going on with her because she's like, oh, did you call Vaughn, see how he doing, at least check up on him. I'm still kind of concerned. So she's like, yeah, that was crazy, it was a cry for help. And Tiffany was like, well, that's what happens when they're young. I'm like, girl, you can't just throw out there from him being young. I was like, that was kind of dumb. They all keep downplaying it that Bridget date young dudes and what she expect to get from a young dude. I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, no, he was still a grown ass man. He was 30. 30 years old, you grown ass man. That got to do something with him, okay? But Tiffany just was being real snippy about it. I ain't like it, okay? I was just like, okay, bitch, you need to watch your little attitude, okay? Ain't you over there paying alimony? Shut up. Because this is a serious topic, and I think that's what Rashida said too. This is a serious topic. You dismissing the fact that this man just tried to unalive himself, okay? For games or not, he still was playing like that, and you don't play like that. There's something got to be going on. But it was mostly she was mad because she wanted to talk about Geneva and Rashida wasn't giving her nothing. So she's like, we can multitask, talk about this. And then she offered to watch Anika. Rashida offered to watch Anika instead of Tiffany since they, having a little tiff right now. Pastor Jeff at the church and Myra, his assistant, the one that was on the phone talking about, baby, are you in the car? Baby, are you in the car? Okay. So, and we still don't know if they was really going on. But Pastor Jeff is acting like, oh, hell no. Okay, you done got you. Why was you on the phone with me like that? He's like, I thought I was talking to Denise. You sure? And then, Myron quite annoying, okay? So every time Pastor tell him to do something, he be like, are you sure, Pastor? What do you need? So annoying as hell. So they doing all of that. And he's like, what's crazy is I'm standing here talking to somebody who just called me baby. I said, oh, he mad about that. I said, ooh, it's testing the line, Jeff, you might want to step back a bit. Cause he said, some man just called me baby. I said, okay. And then he told Myri, was she really looking at you sideways? Yes, dude. She answered my phone, and you talking about baby, is you in the car? Pastor Jeff is going to the hospital to go back to check up on Franklin and his new wife. What is they ever to give us the wife name? White lady is what they've been calling her. Anyway, Franklin and his wife, and then Pastor Jeff is there, to still be like, I'm sorry for what happened, I can still pray for her and all this. But then Franklin was like, nah, you here because you want that money. You trying to convince me to give you that money. I think you playing. You playing with me. You and your little friend, your little wife, y'all playing with me, basically. He was in there thinking of a master evil plan in the dark where his wife is laid out and she was sedated, apparently. Okay, because I was like, why she still laying like that? But she was sedated. But anyway, he was in there angry the whole time. So as soon as he see Pastor Jeff, he just like, you, okay? No, you're trying to get my money. That's what you're doing. You're trying to get my money, and you go, I don't know how you can be friends with that kind of woman, okay? That bitch, okay? Pretty much what he be doing. He was tripping, okay? He mad. He hate his ex-wife. They hate each other, okay? We have established that it is mutual hate, okay? So he just said, Pastor Jeff's like, no, I don't have ill intentions. I just came to pray, brother. Okay, I just came to pray, brother. And I was half and half. Like, Jeff, you was low key hoping that that you came off great, and he was just like, you know what? I changed my mind. You was like, I wasn't gonna deny it if you hadn't reoffered it. But anyway, so then it became a whole squabble match. I was surprised. Okay, he threatened and talking about, sis, because you trying to come at me. I don't believe you. I don't trust you. So therefore, I don't trust nobody around Naomi. Hope your wife included. Yeah, your wife. Yeah, because all this happened because your wife should have not had let her be at the event. So he done hyped himself up, like I said. So then he pretty much giving veiled threats to Rashida. And Pastor Jeff, for once, puffed up his chest. Okay, I was like, okay. And when he said, people think because I'm a man of the Lord that I can't be a motherfucker. I said, ooh. I know you can be one. Okay, I know. But I was with Jeff. I said, yeah, get him. He said, you think you're going to come after me and mine? you gonna see what really, he just said some scriptures and stuff, But it was good. I said, okay, Jeff, clocky. Okay, so then after Pastor Jeff leave the hospital, he immediately called Rashida like, where you at? Because old boy Franklin, he making threats. Okay, he threatening you. And talking about he gonna do something to you. So, where you going? I need to be there. I was like, look at Jeff. So, she ended up telling the girls anyway but she didn't tell them that he threatened her. She just said he's making threats about me and Naomi. I was just like, okay. But anyway, so they all meet up at Naomi's house. He like, I'm gonna wait outside because I don't know what he got going on, So then they go in the house to talk to Naomi. Also, before that, we had Geneva arrived there first, right? So Geneva arrives to Naomi's house first. She get inside, and Doc / Hakeem is in there naked, ass naked, okay? And she just said, oh my goodness. He's like, oh, I like to walk around naked. And then when Naomi come downstairs, she just like, I thought you were supposed to be gone already. He went to make a sandwich. He giving real bruh man behavior in that moment, okay? He sat there to make him a sandwich and he was going to sit down on the couch. She was like, get your naked ass up and go, okay? So then she ended up telling Naomi, get her ass dressed too, go upstairs. So when she go upstairs, he go Doc when he coming back after he done got dressed. Talking about, dang, I didn't think she listened to nobody. I said, okay, I feel like that was a note, okay? Maybe that was a note to keep because she did seem like she did get softer with Geneva. Even though she do all that rah. Geneva went up to her room and was talking to her like, I know you're hurting. I know you're going through a lot. But you getting to a point, okay? You getting to a point, baby. I'm with you, though. But you getting to a point. I was like, okay, that was real. She crying, all that stuff. She said, I know you like to do things for shock value and all this stuff. So, basically, Naomi be doing a lot of stuff for attention because she had a lot going on, okay? Apparently, it's the reason why she crazy, okay? And I don't think she been, at this point, I kind of don't think it's just that. I think maybe she was already like this before the husband because, remember, Jeff was saying she loud, she did that, and then she said she had a tough life. So, I feel like there's some correlations going around there. It wasn't just this husband, but the husband done put her over the edge. Your girl showed up to go talk to her. She mad because Rashida done went to the hospital first. I was like, okay, here we go. You had time to go to the hospital to check on that bitch, basically. But Rashida just like, yeah, that's what I had to do, basically. She should have just said that, I had to go to the church. Come on now. Appearances. But I don't care about that bitch. But anyway, she was supposed to be like, yeah, I had to go because, you got a assault case, right? They call in the church for the footage. Yeah. So she was doing all of that stuff, basically saying, you're going to go to jail. Your self-inflicted pain you got going on here. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't get to you first. And what's funny is this whole thing, everybody had a point. I was on everybody's side at some point because I understood what Rashida was saying because she's trying to tell her this is serious. You going too far. But Naomi not finna hear that because all she hears is you telling her she wrong, okay? And then Naomi's already in a crazy state, okay? So it's hard to penetrate when you're trying to when she throw logic at her, she don't like it, okay? All she wanted to do was see red. But then everybody else kind of on the same page, like, okay, we understand that he's torturing you. We understand. So they just want her to handle it in a better way. But, of course, in Naomi fashion, she just going to start firing off at everybody, okay? She look at Geneva, you and your husband with his 5-inch, you ain't happy. She started telling them none of them happy, all this and that, right? I said, this is why she ain't telling the business, because look how fast Naomi threw that shit out. Not the 5-inch pain. And then she go to Bridget, talking about how Bridget like to date young man and yada yada yada, right? So Bridget real sensitive right now because what just happened today, okay? They is all effed up, okay? So then Bridget like, I'm finna go off and get your friend, y'all, get your friend, because I ain't finna do it, okay? She kept trying to leave. Tiffany keep telling her, no, stay. No, say how you feel. Say how you feel. And then this is when I was like, is this what kind of friendship y'all got? Is this like a we come together and we like shout stuff out, get our anger out kind of thing? Is that what this is? I don't know. That's what it felt like, because get it out, and then they just like to be yelling at each other, and then they be fine. Oh, y'all gonna eventually get over it? That's why y'all be talking to each other like this? Because when she kept saying, no, say what you need to say. Say it. She still never said it, okay? She was just like, I can't, because I ain't like y'all, because I'll go the fuck off, okay? I guess she's saying she'll go too far, so that's why she ain't finna argue with your ass, because then we'll never be friends again. And you know what? I feel that, because that's why I hold my tongue a lot. Because so anyway, so then we get to Tiffany. She's talking about, Tiffany, you ain't happy. You already met this man one day and you all in love. I was like, damn, how she even know that? They was only together at that damn gala and then on the car ride home. Like, how she know she all in love with this nigga already? Okay, I'm guessing Tiffany is a love. She fall in love fast. Is that what we getting? But anyway, so then she get to Rashida's ass. Okay, she gets to Rashida and she mad because she said she went to Rashida for counseling with her and Jeff. Okay, and all you said was pray. When she said that pray, I was like, oh, she mad. Okay, she mad because she felt like you was supposed to help her and you ain't help her. Okay, so she's just like, you said pray and blah blah blah. So then here we go. You know, Rashida got to hit her with that Bible verse. Prayer without works is dead. Okay, so you have to do more than just pray about it. I ain't say just pray. So then, as they going back and forth, she ended up telling her, oh, you want to pray about something, basically. So then she said, I got cameras outside. So then she cut the cameras on. I mean, the recording on, live feed, I don't know. It had been a video. But I was like, how she get, you know what? Anyway, the video. So then it's video of Myra outside. He on the phone talking about, yeah, we're here. Yeah, I just love him. And he's trying to make me jealous when with her. Basically, he ain't saying no names or nothing. He's trying to make me jealous with her. And they came in holding hands. So of course I'm like, holding hands. We already know what that was, okay? So then of course Rashida looking like, what? I said, ooh, so are they together? What is this? Episode 8, we showed where we left off, and you know Rashida looking like, I don't believe that. Okay, you happy with yourself? You happy with that? I said, ooh, Rashida pissed, okay? But Rashida did what I wanted her to do, okay? But you know what? She's so long-winded, and I really be enjoying her speech. Because she started talking about, do y'all believe that? And then the girls talking about, well, you know, they do say they close. I said, oh, not your friends. Not your friends peeping game. Talking about, we all thought you knew. I said, well, it did give, Rashida, it did give something was going on with Jeff, and you know about it, okay? I said it, but anywho, that's your friends, though. So then, you know, she got on her speech like, you know what happens with rumors, especially in a church? She's like, they become a whisper, you know, if it's never answered. I was like, where's she going with this? What's going on? She's like, let's bring him in here and ask him. I said, ooh. I said, that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to confront it right here. Because I swear I cannot stand when y'all hold shit that shit kills me, okay? They put it out on the fucking table. I was like, they done brought them in there. Let's play I said, oh, we gonna play it? We ain't gonna talk about it? Okay, oh, even better. Okay, so we can see it in live action. Myra looking like, oh, shit. She looking at both of them to see what they doing. Jeff looking like, what the fuck? I said, oh, so they are not together. But, you know, I keep being looking at him sideways because you never know. They be playing it real good. And the way they keep doing this season, they keep making me go up and down with the shit. But anyway, he looking like, what the fuck? So he like, Myron, what is this? Is this true? Who was you talking to? Who are you talking about? You ain't talking about me. And he like, yeah, yeah. So it become a whole little thing where he's saying, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, are you in love with him? Are you in love with my husband, Myron? Okay. He's like, no, I love things about him. Nigga, you in love, okay? So he like, oh, hell no, basically. So then they turn to the friends and they just like, so all y'all felt this way, huh? Okay. So Rashida get mad. She turned over to Naomi's ass and she was like, I'm done. I said, oh shit, you done crossed the line. You done crossed the line. She said, I'm done. You went too far. This is too far. I said, well, I mean, people gotta draw their line, okay? Now you really trying to play with my marriage again? Cause remember, they almost didn't have their wedding. So you already had a strike against you. So I honestly understand why she would not want to have nothing to do with her. And then the way you did it, it was nasty. It was spiteful. You was trying to throw it in my face, trying to say, "Oh, you got a perfect marriage." If you were really trying to be my friend, you'd be like, "You need to see this clip." Okay, that wasn't trying to be my friend. So I get it 100%. So then they all like, no, Rashida, and then she about to leave. Here go Jeff. Don't touch that door. I said, oh. Wait on me, Rashida. I'm going with my wife. You can find a ride. I said, okay, Jeff, look at you. Okay. Surprise me. We get a knock at the door, and it's somebody to serve Naomi's ass with a subpoena. I mean, not a subpoena, a lawsuit? Is that what it's called? They get served with a lawsuit? I don't know. Anyway, he's suing her ass for assault for $50 million. So, of course, she tripping like, oh, he's suing me for what he already got. I'm like, duh, girl, you assaulted him. What did you think was going to happen? Okay. But, she plotting on his murder, so she thinks she going to get out. Oh, my goodness. This woman is plotting a murder. Okay, seriously. It's funny when you're thinking about it, but damn, she really trying to kill this nigga, okay? So, I don't know how she thinks she's going to get away with it. So then we get Rashida and Jeff in the car on the way to the church. They in there having a good old time. I said, look at y'all, skinning and grinning. Not y'all done turned y'all marriage back around. Well, at least for a few days, okay? Well, same day, really. But anyway. They laughing about Myron being in love with his ass and joking. She said, I knew he was looking at you weird. I seen it. Okay, I did. And then she's like, I can't believe you so damn naive. Okay. And then they over here laughing about, he's like, the worst part? She like, he was your best assistant. I said, y'all. Y'all a mess. Okay. Y'all is a mess. Okay. I like this. They laughing. You see they little vibe. You see they actually do got chemistry. They kikiing and shit in the car about this nigga being in love with him and him not knowing it. And then he's talking about, we probably gotta fire him. She's like, we can't be firing him because then he could sue us. You gotta be thinking about all this. And he's like, you think he gonna sue us? And she was like, people sue you for things you don't do for them, okay? Like she was like, I can't believe you is this naive. I said, easy. Look. Look, I still know you can be that motherfucker, okay? My eyes always gonna be side-eyeing you, Pastor Jeff, okay? But anyway, they was cute in the car, though. Oh, and they talked about drug tests on the son. She done got a damn pee cup. Talking about, I need you to give him a talk and make him pee in this cup, okay? And I know a lab. They can get us the results in like 24 hours. But he was like, dang, is it that bad? She was like, yes. And then apparently Pastor Jeff's family got issues with drugs because they was like, don't he know what happened with my family? So she was like, yes, but you need to be in there. You need to talk to him. You need to be stern. And I know I'm a cool dad talk, okay? I said, I know exactly what she mean when she said that shit because she was annoyed with, don't give him the cool dad talk. No, be stern, be telling him, I want you to get on his ass. Cuss him out. Cuss him out. So now we have Tiffany and Bridget in the car, and they pretty much talking about Naomi's ass. They talking about she getting worse, basically. She getting worse and worse, and it's gonna lead to something even worse, okay? And they was like, and then he gonna sue her for all her money. She gonna be broke. They told me, you think she mad now? She talking about, yeah, I'm paying $600 a month and I'm pissed. I said, damn, bitch. Myron ass pull up on Bridget and he all like crying and stuff. Oh, he gonna fire me. Oh. And she just like, it's okay. He ain't gonna fire you. Blah, blah. It's okay if you gay. It's okay if you bi. Chill out, basically. And he like, no, I'm not. All that shit. So, then he ends up leaving. Pastor Jeff and Rashida show up. Rashida and Bridget end up talking and talking about how, it's crazy that's going on with Naomi, and Rashida like, yeah, I'm done. And Bridget was like, I need to be done too. And she's like, you'll be done when you're ready. You'll be done when you're tired. I said, that's true too. Okay, that's true. You gonna be when you done, when you know you tired of this shit, you gonna be ready. Look, it sounds harsh to be trying to abandon their friend, but also the friend is what can they do? Okay, have they tried to beat her at being like how Geneva was being all soft for her? Like, I understand, well, we gotta do something different. No, she don't want to hear that shit. Okay, unless you planning murder with her, I don't think she want to hear you. Okay, so then we get Javon calling Tiffany's ass. He calling her saying, oh, I hope I'm not calling you too much. Yes, you are. And she like, no, I don't know, the whole shit be getting on my nerves. The whole thing be pissing me off. So annoying because he giving off creepy vibes and she all like, So then of course he like, would you do something spontaneous, something crazy? What about going on a trip? I said, oh, why did I just knew what he was finna say before he said it this episode, and everything was just pissing me off. Okay, I was just like, why is it being this predictable to me? Because I already predicted when they said it was gonna be a neighbor, it's his ass. He's saying he do want the house. I said, oh, here we go with him being crazy. He really finna buy this house next to Geneva. As he's talking on the phone with her talking about a trip, I said, oh, here we go. How about we go to Italy? And then she's just like, oh yeah, but isn't that where? And he's like, yeah, I was thinking we go on a double date trip with William and Geneva. I said, this was pissing me off about Tiffany. The whole conversation made her feel away, and she said nothing. She said, well, I don't think so, right? But then he's like, well, I could soften the blow. He was giving her all kind of red flags, and you could see it on her fucking face, and she still was going along with the shit. I said, oh my goodness. At one point, do you say no? No. Can you let me do what I'm gonna do, and you do what you do? Because then when she said no, leave it at that. No, it'll be great. I thought you wanted to be spontaneous, and then that Geneva is trying to have a separate. Really, but not really trying to have a separate alone time with her husband. What she needs y'all to be double dating for? If y'all gonna go somewhere, y'all go somewhere else. Okay? So many damn red flags in that whole conversation, and it was pissing me off because Tiffany ass definitely felt the way, and she kept making faces and saying, no, I'm gonna talk to my friend, because he kept saying, no, let's surprise her. No, I'll talk to William for you. All that stuff. And she's like, no, she's my friend. I'm supposed to be watching her daughter. I got it. All that stuff. But then she was like, well, let me talk to William to soften the blow. I said, oh my gosh. Killing me, okay? Tiffany, you're being stupid, and it's pissing me off, okay? I couldn't, okay? Then we get Naomi's ass showing up to the hospital. To the damn hospital to go taunt that man to buy his wife. I was like, oh yeah, she is crazy. Why she brought some black roses and was like, oh, I brought you some flowers. And then she started cursing him out there, yelling, going back and forth. And she's talking about, I wanted to see how bad if I turned your white bitch brown. I said, oh. Too funny, bro. That scene was funny. I was like, she tripping, okay? She was straight tripping. She done hit the girl with the roses on the bag. They done called the nurse. The nurse trying to call security. And then she done run out like, I said, oh, she gives no fucks, okay? Or she definitely know that he finna die. Like, she like, I've secured your death, so I'm gonna taunt you before you die. She finally goes to the bank to show Hakeem slash Doc the money. He pretty much like, give me the money. She like, no, after it's done, blah, blah, blah. They doing a whole back and forth. He being stupid. He said, I could just knock you out and take the money right now. I'm like, you could not. Y'all are literally in the bank. A man running from one of the back rooms with a box. You was not finna get out of there. But okay. So then she pretty much showed him that she be on her shit. Okay, she was like, I already know your full name. I know about your daughter. I know about your whole life, nigga, before you walked in my house. I said, all right. All right, Naomi, okay. I was like, you won me over with that. Because she was like, nah, I already knew who you was. I already had your whole list before you stepped in my house. This wasn't just no fuck. I said, she's an evil genius. But they had a little tiff and she like, well, get out. Bye. Okay, just know that I got one up on you pretty much. And you thought you had one up on me, didn't you? You thought. And then Pastor Jeff and Myron ended up talking in the office. And he pretty much saying, are you gay? Like, what's going on with you? Like, you got feelings for me? And who was you on the phone with? That pissed me off the most. We never found out who he was on the phone with. And then he said, and then the way he insinuated that somebody from the church that works at the church told him that Pastor Jeff was in love with him. And that's why he been feeling like he got feelings for Pastor Jeff. I was just like, what? I was like, what does this mean? Okay, and then we never got to the bottom of it, and it just became you need to figure out if you gay, straight, or denying who you are. Okay, bisexual, but just know it ain't never gonna happen with me. Okay, I only love women. My woman, what he said earlier in the episode. It will never be you. It will never. Okay, no, I'm not gonna fire you, but you need to get some therapy. But just get you some therapy. But just be just keep being a good assistant, okay? Okay, so now we get to Geneva and William, and he like, oh, I got a surprise for you. I got us a chef. Y'all, well, you know who the chef is. Coming in the kitchen, it's Javon. I said, oh my gosh, can you go away? Can you give it a day? Damn. And he always got to be talking to her in coded languages, okay? And only she picking up, and William just standing there like. I said, oh my goodness, William, you're killing me. You're killing me, William. Because how you not noticing nothing? How you not seeing that they seem like you was out of the conversation? You gotta feel it, okay? Geneva's just like, And so then he was telling them that they going to Italy together on a double date trip with Javon and Tiffany. And Geneva just like, what? But she supposed to be watching Nika. Oh, we already got that fixed. Oh no, it's cool. We got everything figured out. I said, oh my gosh. Why would you think that was fun though? Why would you think let's add another couple? Oh my gosh. But anyway, they was like, who gonna watch Anika? She's like, he's like, Rashida gonna watch him, but all we can bring her, said, I bet it'll feel like I'm her dad or something like that. Something like being the dad or the daughter in the situation. And then of course that's coded language to Geneva's ass, and she's just like, she can't do nothing, okay? Bitch can't do nothing when Javon around. She just so then actually I want to say I forgot earlier when Javon was on the phone with Tiffany, she gonna mention to him that no, Geneva's been acting really standoffish with me lately, and then he's like, he looking like, got her. Okay. So then he done bogarted his way onto their damn couples trip. And it's hella awkward now. So then Anika ends up falling outside and hurting her arm, and she done screaming, and they saying it's blood. They rush her to the hospital. They at the hospital, and then this is where we see that Geneva got a little toot. Okay, she can get herself a little toot and be real disrespectful, okay? Because as soon as she seen Tiffany, she's like, who called you? She was pissed. It wasn't even like a shock, like, who called you? It was who called you here? Like, why the fuck are you here? And she felt, it's like, what? Are you gonna be like this, Geneva? She's like, it's fine, but my daughter's fine. Y'all can go home. Both of y'all. Actually, both of y'all can go. She wanted their ass to leave, okay? As soon as they was finna get up and leave, the doctor ended up coming to let them know the news. So then the doctor trying to tell Geneva the daughter gonna need a blood transfusion. I said, oh. Once they said she needed blood transfusion, I said, oh, good. I already know what's gonna happen, okay? And she's trying to tell Rashida that, all right, come on, let's go do this blood. William like, nah, I got it. She don't like needles. And she's like, nah, I think Geneva should do it. Yeah, come on. Geneva not picking up on it. Geneva just like, what is this? Like, what? She's like, I think we should talk over here. Tell me right here, right now. I said, girl, never. She obviously trying to tell you something. Goodness. Okay, so then they both like, what is it? What? And then she's like, well, your daughter is AB. And then he go, William. And I'm O. So I can't have a child that's AB. He look over at Rashida's ass. He's like, what is going on? I said, ooh. Oh shit. Why did they all just happen right then though? Okay, it annoyed me at the time because I knew it was gonna happen. But that was funny. That was funny as fuck when I think about it again, okay? Because I'm like, it had to happen in front of Javon. And then this how you find out, girl. This how you done. You ain't had no inkling that might not be that man, baby. The blood test always gonna get you, okay? But anyway, I know next episode Javon ass finna be like, I got it. That's my baby. Looking ass. The drama is finna start, okay? The drama is finna start from here forth, okay? But also, I forgot we had Rashida. She gets home and she catches her damn son all up in her room, okay? She's like, what you doing in here? And then he's like, oh, I was trying to get a tie from Dad so I can wear it for church on Sunday. She's just like, the closet over there. You coming from over here? I said, clock it. Okay, wait. She's like, what's in your hand? What's in your hand? She snatched the shit up out his hand. It's a wad of money that he done got out her damn drawer. I said, oh, you stealing. You stealing? So she, of course, she pissed off. Like, what you need money for? Why you keep doing this and that? And I need you to pee in this cup, basically. So it become a whole little argument thing. He want to be talking shit to his mama. And boy has the nerve to raise up on mama. I said, oh, hell no, okay? I thought she was finna smack the shit out of him. She didn't, okay? But I was like, am I finna see 2 slaps in the same week, okay? Because Jackie Christie done slapped the shit out of her daughter. On national TV. I thought Rashida was finna slap her son right now, okay? She didn't. Actually, it made me a little bit, it was sad anyway, but it was sad because her reaction was sad. She would look like she was visibly scared, and then it was like a trauma shock. You literally could see it. I could see the trauma shock of her. She was just like, oh my God, like, my son is grabbing me up like this and talking about, give me the money. Like, what the fuck? And you could tell it broke her heart because it was like, what was this? Okay. Daughter peeping into the door and she seeing the whole situation, but she don't say that other than she asked if the mama's okay, and he realized he back off like, whatever, and leave. And she crying because that was crazy, okay, crazy, and I could just tell that I could tell that it triggered her, and it was shock. It was all kind of thing. It was triggering, it was shocking, it was upsetting, it was just too much. Your child just raised his hands up on you. Anyway, so that's finna be a whole nother thing, and Jeff finna go crazy, okay? Alright, y'all, that is in the episodes, and that is the end of my review for Divorced Sistas, Season 1, Episodes 7 and 8. Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. I actually changed my mind by the end of recapping these, so that was funny. Because our show was like, 2 mediocre episodes, because they was making me mad so much, but as you recap it, I was giving a kiki. Okay, it was giving a kiki. Anyway, drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. What y'all think about these relationships between these friends. The fact that Rashida says she is done. Okay, do y'all believe she really done? Do y'all know what the hell is going to happen with Geneva and Javon and William and the baby? What the hell y'all think finna pop off next episode with that shit, okay? Or do y'all think Naomi is gonna have a successful murder? Okay, is she gonna have a successful one? Oh, how she finna do this? Okay, because now you and Hakeem is fighting, and he could probably go tell a business. Okay, you done got a liability out here. Actually, but anyway, drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Be Like D channel. Okay.